Ever wondered why Japan is hit by so many earthquakes and tsunamis? Well, it's a tale of geology and geography. A tale of where the land of the rising sun finds itself on our planet. You see, Japan is nestled in what we call the Pacific Ring of Fire, a sizzling hot spot with an extraordinary level of seismic activity. But what causes this seismic activity? To answer that, we need to delve beneath the surface, quite literally. Our Earth's crust is not one solid piece. Rather, it's divided into several large and small pieces, known as tectonic plates. These plates are constantly on the move, shifting, colliding, sliding over and under each other. This activity is what triggers earthquakes. And Japan? Well, it's right next to several of these tectonic plate boundaries. This proximity to multiple tectonic plate boundaries essentially makes Japan a seismic hotbed. So, Japan's position on the Pacific Ring of Fire and its proximity to multiple tectonic plate boundaries make it a hotbed for seismic activity. But what exactly happens when these tectonic plates meet? Well, it's a bit like a dance, a tectonic tango, if you will. Imagine two dancers moving together, one leading, the other following, but with a twist. The leading dancer is not guiding its partner across the dance floor, but rather pulling it underneath. This is what we call subduction, a process where one tectonic plate dives or subducts beneath another. Now picture this. The Pacific Plate, a heavy, dense slab of oceanic crust, is the lead dancer, diving under the lighter continental crust of the Philippine Sea Plate. As the Pacific Plate descends, it drags against the overlying plate, creating a tremendous amount of pressure. And it's not a smooth dance, mind you. There's a lot of resistance, a lot of friction. The plates are locked together, unable to move, the stress building up day by day, year by year. You can't see it, you can't feel it, but it's happening right beneath your feet. But nothing can withstand such immense pressure indefinitely. Eventually, the stress becomes too much. The locked plates slip, releasing a colossal amount of energy that ripples through the earth. And there you have it, an earthquake. The Pacific Plate and the Philippine Sea Plate, these are the specific dancers in our tectonic tango around Japan. And their dance is a passionate one. They meet in a subduction zone, a place where earthquakes are born. Their dance floor, if you will, is located along the eastern and southern coasts of Japan, a region known as the Japan Trench and the Nankai Trough. So, you see, it's not the earth having a temper tantrum, nor is it some mystical force. It's simply the natural, albeit dramatic, movements of the Earth's crust. These movements, these dances, they're happening all around us all the time. Therefore, the dance of these tectonic plates beneath the surface is the main culprit behind Japan's frequent earthquakes. And what about tsunamis? How are they linked to these tectonic movements, you might ask? Well, let's dive into it. Underwater earthquakes, particularly those resulting from subduction, are like gigantic stone skippers. When these quakes occur, they displace a massive volume of water, creating a series of waves that ripple across the ocean. These aren't your average beach waves, though. We're talking about tsunami waves, powerful, fast, and often devastating. Now imagine these colossal waves heading towards the land. Japan's coastal geography, with its long, densely populated coastline, makes it a sitting duck for these destructive waves. Like an unwelcome guest, tsunamis don't just knock on Japan's door, they barge right in, causing widespread destruction and loss. So, you see, it's all interconnected. The very same tectonic activity that leads to the frequent earthquakes in Japan is also the puppet master behind the deadly tsunamis. Thus, the same tectonic activity that causes earthquakes also triggers the deadly tsunamis that often hit Japan. So, what have we learned about Japan's seismic dilemma? Let's take a moment to jog our memory. Japan is situated smack dab in the middle of the Pacific Ring of Fire, a geological hotbed that's home to about 90% of the world's earthquakes. This makes Japan a prime candidate for frequent seismic activity, but it's not just location. The Earth's crust beneath Japan is a dance floor for tectonic plates. As these massive slabs of rock tango beneath the surface, one plate dives or subducts under the other, causing tension that eventually releases as an earthquake. And where there are earthquakes, tsunamis often follow. These towering waves are triggered by undersea earthquakes, which displace massive volumes of water. While these natural disasters are a grim reality for Japan, understanding their causes helps us better prepare and respond. After all, knowledge is the first step towards resilience.